Hello again, I'm Michael, and again, as I always ask, what's your story? Today I'm going to talk about forgiveness, or to forgive. This one's very fresh in my mind because of tonight. It is Christmas Eve 2016, and the reason it's so fresh in my mind is up until pretty much tonight, I've held a pretty unspoken grudge towards my grandmother. My grandmother, my father's side, has been very sour, very mean of a woman, and she's done a lot of things just for her own personal gain throughout the years. And there's a lot of things that she's done and things that I just don't agree with, but that's not entirely what I'm going to go into here. The main one is, in the past few years, she's been, because of her reasons and my father's reasons, I'm not entirely sure of what's going on between the two of them. I didn't want to get involved, but they had a falling out a few years ago, and I know that that falling out really hurt my father, and at the time she was very stubborn and learned tonight that it really hurt her. Recently I heard that they'd been talking again, which was a very good thing to hear, but that didn't affect me and the grudge of the things that I held towards her. And after it being a surprise, I didn't know that she would be at dinner tonight with family, that seeing her and talking to her and just hearing in her voice and seeing her almost cry at one point, just knowing and sensing the emotion coming off of her, that she was so happy to have spent tonight with 4 of her grandchildren and with her son, because they were able to let things lie and able to forgive each other. And in that, seeing my grandmother for the first time in probably about 3-4 years, I was able to, within me, forgive me for everything that she's done in her past, or things that have affected me, and drop the grudge for the simple fact that she's not the same woman that I knew when I was a child. She was not the same woman that she was before I was born. She's not the same woman who got into a fight with my father and left and stopped talking to him. She's realized that she doesn't have many years left, that the mistakes that have been in my family, which is holding grudges and not being able to forgive, has caused so much pain that it's foolish to hold on to. It was grudges and being unable to forgive each other that my father didn't speak with his father for so many years, and I can see it in his eyes, and I can see it in everything that he does since my grandfather's passing, that he never wants the relationship that he had with his father and that he couldn't forgive. So it's one of the things for me to be able to say that when I can see it and being able to know that somebody truly is happy to be in a situation where someone else was able to forgive, it's such a very powerful emotion and thing to let go. Because as I was the one who drove my grandmother home tonight, it was one of those things where years of, I don't want to say hatred, but anger and frustration and disagreements and so many things basically just kind of melted away, because seeing how happy she was to be able to be there made me realize and made her realize that to forgive is such a powerful thing. And yeah, I forgave my grandmother. One of the other people I've forgiven over the years is for many years I had a lot of issues with my father. My father and I fought a lot when I was a teen. I'll speak more about it in another video, about how situations where my father did a lot for himself, where there was a lot of neglect and a lot of not understanding how to properly deal with teen boys, and not understanding what was going on. And it took until my late 20s to be able to sit down and, you know what, my father tries. And he's tried very hard in the past few years. And I know that my father, it's just the way that he was brought up to never say I'm sorry in certain situations. But I know he is. I know that he's sorry for the things that he did in his past. And he's done a lot to change his ways. And I remember it was an exact night where I would have been about 27, 28. And I was up north at a cottage with my dad, and we were sitting out under the stars by a fire, and we were having a conversation. And as we looked up, and as the night got older, and we just sort of talked, is when I realized that I forgave my father, because I know my father loves me, and I love him, and it was one of those moments that no matter what has happened in the past, if we are both able to let go and forgive each other for what happened, we still have many years in the future of happiness and joy. And yes, there's still going to be times where my father and I will argue over things about politics or work ethic or the environment or something else, because nobody ever is going to agree exactly on everything. But at the same time, we still have that common ground that we have gotten to this point that we can still, at the end of it all, say that we love each other, and no matter what, we enjoyed all the time that we spend together. And I do, and I always enjoy nights like tonight, which was purely for family, to get together with my brothers, my father, and my grandmother to just celebrate the fact that we've all been able to love each other and embrace each other's differences and be non-judgmental, because we are family. And I know that even though we are family, we are all older, and if we don't want to see each other, we can fully say so. But I never want that to be, I never want my family to be in that situation where we're so at odds that we don't want to discuss and talk things out. Because no matter what, no matter how angry, no matter how much of a disagreement, the love that we share and the ability to forgive each other will always be there. And that to me is a beautiful thing. So again, as I always say, what's your story? If you enjoyed this, you can like it, do whatever, share, subscribe. More will be coming as my brain goes. I'm going to try to upload every so often. I'm going to be mass producing a lot of videos right now, so again, thank you for your time.